Well, it's a little bit early. You may have noticed. Human Centipede, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like 3 hours early. The reality is, the show is never late. I am always right on time. It's you guys who show up early. You're on my time when you're on my channel, bro. Okay, so we're starting a little early today because listen, I really, really did. I thought and I was committed to refocusing our efforts on what we always do on this channel, which is socialism. That is what we do. We do deep dives into the far left. That is what we spend like 90+% of our time on. See, this is correct. See, Reagan always, I don't know why everyone just needs to take after Reagan. Reagan always has the right attitude. It's my time. I am never late. Everyone else is just early. So I was fully committed that we were going to return to socialism today, and I was like, no more of this internet bullshit, no more Nick Fuentes. Let's just move on from the fact that I called out the CEO of the Daily Wire and got him to admit that he will not hire anyone who is critical of Israel ever. But life just happens, and sometimes when life happens, you got to go with the flow, man. You just got to roll with it, and there's just too much juicy drama today to pass up. The reason I'm going live right now is because in 4 minutes, Alex Jones will be debating Rabbi Shmuley, who is that crazy ass rabbi. And I don't feel like I'm being anti-Semitic when I say that. I legitimately think that Rabbi Shmuley is crazy, not because he is Jewish, but because he is crazy. Alex Jones is also crazy. So basically, we have an opportunity today to watch two drunk uncles at a family reunion fight on the internet. Who like we can't come on, man. Like we can't pass that up. This opportunity doesn't come around all day. And then later at 5 p.m., we're going to be digging into Steven Crowder drama. Because, like, Steven Crowder's wife and not gay Jared are accusing Steven of doing things, and then Steven's accusing his wife of extortion, and that's a whole other thing that we're going to do later. Let's get ready to rumble. It's going to be a great day. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everyone. All right, I've got the feed up from InfoWars here, which I assume this is where this is going to be, is on the InfoWars thing. I know that Rabbi Shmuley is also doing it on his channel or on his X page, but I'm just gonna we're gonna go with the old reliable Rumble feed for this. Milk Tea Groiper is here. Milk Tea Groiper, do you like how Nick and I are we're back we're back. Nick and I took a little break. Nick's friends cried a lot. They created all this drama, but Nick and I remain strong, and now we're back. So we are just getting ready for this debate to start, guys. See, Milk Tea Groiper never abandoned us. After I unblocked him on Twitter, he never abandoned us. He was always right there. Milk it for all it's worth. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those types of days. Who's ready? So let me put a poll in the chat. I want to know. I feel like everyone and their mother is live streaming this. I know Adam Green is live streaming this. I just got a notification that my internet side piece, my super sexy side piece, Big Tech, is also streaming right now. So I can only assume that he's streaming this as well. Although he might be watching a TV show or doing something else too. I really don't know. But I feel like yes. Nick Fuentes said that I'm his girl. Indeed. Now, Nick also has other girls. I'm not jealous of Michelle Malkin. I'm not jealous of Lauren Chen. I don't get jealous of the other women. Nick is basically a king. Nick is allowed to have as many women as he wants, but I, at least for the moment, I happen to be one of them. So I have my internet side piece in Big Tech. Nick is allowed to have his internet side pieces. This is the way the world should work. No one is anyone else's property. We should all just enjoy each other. Anyway, is this starting yet? No, he's talking about supplements. We're not letting Alex Jones shill the supplements. You're very welcome, Michael. I appreciate it. Yeah, it is a little ironic, isn't it? Nick has all the women and yet none of the women at exactly the same time because he's still no matter how many internet women Nick has, he is a good boy. Nick doesn't need to fornicate. Nick needs to channel his energy. All right, let's get started.
Receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Oh, I gotta do a poll. My poll is gonna be: is it anti-Semitic to be on Alex Jones' side?
There's a lot of controversy around this network about Alex Jones, for example.
Alex Jones, the far-right conspiracy theorist who is apparently... Alex Jones.
Stop! Russian!
Poll
Stop!
in the chat. Poll in the chat. Let me know if you think I'm anti-Semitic if I root for Alex Jones. It's a deeply important question. I would never want to be anti-Semitic on the internet.
It's amazing.
Never, ever want that. No. No anti-Semitism allowed here.
By Rudyard Kipling.
Anti-Semitism-free zone.
If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same.
This is all very dramatic.
If you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but are none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute
This
with
is what I
60
need. I need a
seconds
good
worth
dramatic
distance
video
run,
for my channel. Does anyone want to make
yours
me
is
like
the
a
earth
really
and
good
everything
dramatic
that's
video that I can use?
and
Like,
which is
I mean,
more,
it doesn't really even need
you'll
to
be
say
a man,
anything. It can just be someone
my
reading
son.
a quote and like images and stuff like that that make people have all the feels.
Literally, they're bringing in the foreign army, but it won't happen overnight with you in blue helmets. It's just they're now your police. They've already purged the military. They bring them in. They'll follow orders. This is very simple. So Rome took 400 years of bringing in foreign troops to fall. They didn't do it on purpose. But the globalists look at 1984 as fiction, or they look at Rome and they go, which was historical, and they go, that is a blueprint. That is an owner's manual. That is a battle plan. So that's what the Great Reset is. It's accelerating the collapse of Western civilization because you don't want in around to compete with the globalist model of eat the bugs and enslavement and collapse. So they're actively
I can't wait till we get to the part where all of these globalist groups are fighting each other for control. That's going to be really great for us.
Western culture. So you brand it
Because
as racist, you say it's bad
hang on,
because it's like kryptonite. You know?
Quiet. There will reach a point where, I mean, people think there's like one globalist agenda. No, there's like 3 or 4 different like factions of globalist agenda, right? And it's at some point all of the globalist agenda are going to fight, and that's when it's going to get really fun for the rest of us. We're going to be surrounded by madmen who all want to control us, who are all warring to control us, and there ain't nothing we can do about it. That's the end times right there.
Creating unification, not through centralization or enslavement, but through adoption because it works so well. And so the globalist tyrants are fundamentally threatened by Western Christian civilization, and that's why they're at war with it. which is why we should embrace it. And that's the great numbers of double the blacks voting for Trump, or triple the Hispanics, what we just saw 10 years ago. And that's why they're in full panic mode, trying to bring in totally uninformed foreigners from all over who they control and who they can run through NGOs, hoping that they'll be the savior. So as negative as all this is, I see this as the panic button. I know as viewers and listeners, you've heard callers call in and talk about how X3 has changed their life.
Oh, come
You've heard listeners talk
on!
about how incredible 10-hour clean energy Turbo Force is.
All right.
Well, both products.
Well, Alex Jones is shilling another round of supplements. I just want to remind people, please mount the like button on the channel for me. I am massively shadow banned on YouTube. There are only a couple ways I can really ever break the algorithm. One is if people mount the like button. Two is if people click on the videos that are served to them in the rare instances when they are. Just watch it for a few seconds. You don't need to watch the whole thing. But you guys can help me get unshadow banned, even if for a brief moment before I get shadow banned again. We've broken the algorithm before. We can do it again. Okay? So make sure you're mounting the like button. Make sure you're subscribed on whatever platform you're watching on. I'm streaming right now on YouTube, on X, on Rumble. Make sure you're subscribed, all that good stuff. And if you didn't know, I actually leaving comments helps. That definitely does. Sharing stuff out. And check out the clips I posted earlier today from that Twitter space that I did the other day where I called out the CEO of the Daily Wire. That's pretty great. I got the clip up. Fine, critical of Israel. You know, would a nut job really be able to do that? Maybe Jeremy is just Jeremy Hamby in this case is just a little jealous that he wasn't in the Twitter space and he didn't get to ask the CEO of the Daily Wire a question. I'm just saying that the truth. Here we go. Finally.
Coercing your conformity and suppressing your
never mind. I'll start.
How did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those who are more responsible than others. They will be held accountable. You were afraid.
Jeremy never would have had the presence of mind to ask the same question. It would not have happened.
There were a myriad of problems which conspired to corrupt your reason.
Yes,
and rob
it was
you of your
almost
common
as though
sense.
I'm really an
Fear
organizational
got the best of you,
psychologist and
and
I
you
asked that
panicked,
question.
you
It was
turned to
almost
the
as though I
now
have a little bit of
Chancellor
experience in
Adam
this.
Sutler. He promised
See?
you order.
You guys
promised
didn't believe
peace,
me.
And all he demanded in return was your silent, obedient consent.
There is a war. It's happening now. It will decide the fate of humanity. The time to choose sides has come. We are the resistance. We are the info war.
Well, tens of millions of people saw our arguments last week when I put out a couple of posts on X about Rabbi Shmuley and some of his comments about Candace Owens. And so usually when people attack me, they're scared to come on the show. But he said, let's go. He said, I'm going to digitally decapitate you. And I said, well, I just invited you on the show. But if you want to debate, that's fine. But I don't know what we're specifically going to debate, whatever he wants to get into, whatever we can talk about here. He's called me a white supremacist, and I don't think most people would identify me as that. But if that's where he wants to go, I can certainly go there. Or we can talk about what's going to happen in Israel. Donald Trump came out and said, this does not look good. This is turning the world against Israel. It needs to stop. I don't support Hamas. Never did. I mean, so maybe there's a view he's got of me that I don't think is really who I am versus what he thinks.
Alex Jones
or we can just talk about the world in general and all the things that are happening and, you know, going on with censorship and with Russia. I mean, there's so much to talk about because I've seen him do talks and events where he's very well-spoken and really scholarly sounding. And then he kind of, I guess, has a wild comedian side to him maybe where he acts like a maniac. Now, I've done that too. I've acted pretty wild on there too. So, but he's here. He rode a bike, I guess, 45 minutes to the studio. He just got in his suit. And he's there, so I appreciate you coming on today.
Thanks for having me, Alex.
So, what do you think this debate's about?
Well, first of all, when I say digital decapitation, what I mean is that your arguments against the Jewish people are just so insidious. They're so unchristian. Do you think that we Jews are not accustomed to the world hating us. You think it's because of Hamas and because of the war in Gaza. Jesus was a Jew and they crucified him for God's sake. Aren't you a Christian? You yourself are a Christian, correct?
Yes.
So did you not forget that Jesus was murdered by the Romans? Did you not forget there was a Holocaust of 6 million Jews? There have been people on your show that have actually denied the Holocaust or minimized the numbers. You've had people like Kanye West who said they love Hitler. I don't square your Christianity, your love of Jesus, the Bible, the Hebrew Bible, with your hatred of the Jewish people. It really confuses me. I'm not speaking now about a Jewish boy murdered at Sandy Hook in 2012. And the 28 others who were murdered that you denied. And I'm actually impressed that you still have the lights on, given that your $1.5 billion a judgment against you. I don't know if you guys are pouring your special powders that you sell and maybe they energize it, or you got little hamsters going on wheels in the background. That's impressive. I just don't get your hatred of the Jewish people, your lies about Israel since October 7th, like Israel went in to take the oil in Gaza. There's as much oil in Gaza
They
as
wanted
there
to
is
take the land in Gaza.
on the fictional powders that you
It's a
sell.
land grab.
So what is your hatred about Jews if you're a Christian? I don't get it. How could you hate Jesus people?
Not an oil grab.
Okay, so I let you go
grab.
first because I didn't know what angle you were going to go with. First off, that whole Sandy Hook thing was a PR deal. I barely ever talked about it. The internet didn't believe it happened. I covered it a few times. And then they decided to do rigged events where judges found me guilty and then had show trials, similar to what we've seen happen with Trump in New York and other areas. So all of these attacks on me have only made us more popular. 99% of people see straight through it. All that stuff's been appealed. And so that's dredging something up. That would be like if I said,
but is that? May I say? I don't want to interrupt. Forgive me. Is that what you live for? Popularity? You just said you're a Christian. Don't you live for God? Don't you live for ethics?
Well,
all you care about. Jesus wasn't popular. He was
Listen,
hated in his lifetime.
Let's take this one at a time.
You live for popularity.
Let's take this one at a time, because you said you do the debate. We had equal time. I think you've probably, since you came on, talked a little more than me.
You are correct.
So. No, I don't just live for popularity. I'm saying the establishment attacking me in rigged courts, people see through it, and it's backfired, just like it's backfired on Trump. But let me respond. I didn't come on with the classic anti-Jew thing that the Jews killed Jesus. I know that, I've studied history, it's very fascinating, that the Jews were constantly fighting with each other over who had the right deal, and there was a civil war going on, and 70 years later, Titus sacked Jerusalem, and I know about the different factions. It's fascinating. To say that Pontius Pilate killed Jesus, he tried to set Jesus free. So right out of the gates, you say that the Romans, I guess they physically did it, killed Jesus, going right to the point when it was the high priest and others that demanded the Romans arrest him and said, give us Barabbas. So out of the gates, you must think the viewers don't know a historical perspective, because I wasn't going to try to go down some historical thing on the Jews here. I was going to try to have a discussion, but out of the gates, also, if you go to Whole Foods, this is the last thing I'll say, you can talk, or you go to Central Market, they have giant sections of incredibly high quality supplements and products that do incredible things, like turmeric. Everybody knows turmeric's incredible. Everybody knows that colloidal silver topically is amazing. I private label the top brands in the country that they've done national studies on and found we sell the very best products. So the old lame thing that I sell supplements, have you seen the GNC stores all over the country? Have you seen Arnold Schwarzenegger, promoting the different herbal things? And you're damn right in your little joke about my pee-pee size, that I do like taking things like our testosterone boosting products because they really work. So
I didn't know we were going there. You know what? That was a video that I did. It was we're gonna. I don't want to get off to it.
What are we?
Well, you said a lot of stuff. So I just countered some of it.
Because you defend Candace Owens, and Candace Owens humiliated the First Lady of France.
You defend Candace Owens, and so I have to bring up all sorts of unrelated
leave her alone,
bullshit.
saying that she has male genitals, that she's a man. And you once said that Michelle Obama is probably a man because she has no bulge. And I was kind of making fun. Well, Alex, if you don't have much of a bulge, maybe you're a woman. I was kind of saying that. But let's take the humor aside for a moment. I didn't want to get into a debate on the murder of Jesus. I will in a moment. I was making a different point altogether. You come across as a classic anti-Semite. You lied that Israel went into Gaza. You said this October 10th in order to steal the oil. There is as much oil in Gaza as there is truth in your
It
fictional
was to
products.
steal
There's
the
no oil in
land,
Gaza. Where
not
did you
the
even invent
oil.
that? You've never been to Gaza. I have. There is no oil in Gaza. That's just an outright anti-Semitic lie. You've had Kanye West, who loves Hitler, and you kind of contradicted it. You allowed a man who murdered the people of Jesus. How could you be a Christian and praise Hitler, who gassed 1.5 million Jewish children, the people of Jesus, 6 million Jews? How could you be a Christian and say that on 9/11 the Jews were kind of responsible for it? You're not a Christian. With all due respect, you're a Christian fraud. There's nothing religious about your saying. These are classic anti-Semitism that got Jesus killed. Now, if you want to debate the murder of Jesus, I will do that in an instant, and you're going to lose. The Roman historian Tacitus said clearly that we Romans did it. When you say that the high priest turned over Jesus, you forget there were two groups of Jews. There were Pharisees and Sadducees. The Pharisees were Jews like me. They looked like this, yarmulke beard. They were Orthodox. The Sadducees were Jewish sellouts. They Hellenized. They were the Roman party, and they hated Jesus because Jesus rejected Caesar. He rejected Nero. He rejected Roman rule, which is why the Romans gave him a political death. The Romans learned crucifixion from the Carthaginians, from Hannibal. It was not a religious death. It was a political death. And the Romans tortured him because he wouldn't accept the rule of Rome. So
he's having all sorts of
book
feelings.
about this
Jesus
called Kosher
Christ.
Jesus. And let me be clear, so many of your viewers who are religious Christians, who are indeed authentic evangelical Christians, they know the Bible says that the Jews will be blessed.
Yeah,
that
I don't
those
understand.
who bless Israel will be blessed. The reason you're not blessed, Alex Jones, the reason you're bankrupt, the reason that you've had the whole
Why is he
country,
being such a
anyone
dick?
who's sane turn against you, is because you have lost the blessing of God. Because you justify the murder
Really?
of children, you say it's fictional. You lie about Israel and you give the Jews no right to defend themselves. You lie and say
No
that
right
the
to defend
IDF
themselves. You're on his fucking
actually
show.
has soldiers shooting little Palestinian children and bragging about it. What kind of, and that the IDF authenticated the videos? Where do you come up with this crap? And I'm asking you a simple question. Forget me. Little Rabbi Shmuley 5'6". And by the way, if you have some kind of powder that can make me grow another foot in a month, sell it to me now or give it to me as a gift for coming on for free on your program, okay? But forget me. Don't you fear God? Have you no fear of God whatsoever as a Christian?
All right, can I respond now? Because you said a lot there.
Of course. Of course.
We reaching people are more successful than ever. All I get is just insane love. I went to a major sporting goods store yesterday, and every person came up and loved me and told me keep going, and I'm just pure love. So we're more successful telling the truth, reaching out, not the fictions that are built about us. As for Candace Owens, we discovered
It
Candace,
really is.
Paul Watson and myself were the first to have
it's a
her on
bad
like
beard.
10 years ago.
It's just bad.
And it had nothing to do with Jews. We weren't talking about Jews. She wasn't talking about Jews. She was friends with Kanye before he had his breakdown and did all that. So that's a side issue. And I think you misrepresented some of the things she said and done. That's your right. You have free speech. Moving on to oil. I come from Texas. I've got family. Well, they're dead now. They're petroleum geologists. I know how to read the petroleum and reports. They have found right off the coast of Gaza in those coastal waters, massive natural gas reserves. There's oil there too. And there's
oil or gas. Now you're mixing them up. Oil or gas.
I just said they found both oil and gas, but mainly gas. Because on the way to get the gas, they run through oil. But that's not what they're looking for.
It's not in Gaza like you said. Now you're saying it's offshore. Is that correct?
No, the rights to it. You know that any territorial jurisdiction has 3 to 12 miles under law they get. So yes, Gaza is also the water right off of it. Stop it. You're splitting hairs on this. So
I'm going to respond. I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead.
Hold on. I just want to get my points out here. I am not saying the Romans didn't sack and destroy Jerusalem in 70 AD. I am not saying, and I know about the Sadducees and the Pharisees, and you're right about those two groups. And that's when I say there's different groups. I said that before you said that. And I understand all that. Okay. I think it was one of the main Pharisee leaders said, actually, leave Jesus alone.
That is correct. Gamliel said to save Jesus. That is absolutely correct, because he was a Pharisee. He was not a Sadducee. He hated the Sadducees because they did not keep the Torah.
And wasn't he one of the greatest Pharisees ever? But see, I actually know history.
Alex doesn't want to be
actually going against Jesus is going against God.
He's scared.
No, he didn't say that.
Well, his quote was,
I listen. I
He
wrote
may
a
not
book
be
about
afraid
this.
of
We can have
God,
a
but he's
theological
definitely
debate.
afraid
I'm
of this
making a different
rabbi.
point altogether. The Jews did not kill Jesus. The Romans killed Jesus. When you say the high priest was nothing but a paid agent. He was someone who bribed the Romans to get the position. The Jews detested him, despised him, and Pontius Pilate crucified 250,000 Jews in ancient Judea. He was so cruel that he was recalled by the Roman emperor for his cruelty. Do you know how cruel you have to be for the Romans to think that you're a barbarian? I'm making a different point. I'm not looking at the death of Jesus, although I'm happy to come back and discuss it because I wrote a whole book. Again, Kosher Jesus. Everyone, please buy it on Amazon. I am saying you, Alex Jones, who claim to be a Christian, you lie about the people of
He's
Jesus
here
and you
to
say that
spill his
you wrote
shit.
yesterday in a tweet that Israel going into Rafah is going to make them unpopular. We've been unpopular for
Bro.
2,000 years because we keep the covenant of God that everyone else has broken.
Yeah,
We live
that's
by
why
the
you're
10 Commandments.
unpopular.
We don't go
Totes.
crusading
Totes,
against
bro.
people and drowning them in the Main River. We don't gas people. We believe that adultery is wrong. We fight things like pornography. We establish communities and families. The Jewish communities
Doesn't
and
he sell
families are
sex toys?
revered by their worst enemies around the
He
world. So
fights
we're
pornography
hated
because
for
his
it, and
toys
we're
sell sex
prepared to be
toys?
hated for it. Are you telling me that I should pursue your popularity? That I should go and lie about whether children died in Sandy Hook because I might get more viewers and sell more supplements? Come on. No, don't give me this popularity stuff because I don't give a damn if I'm popular or not.
Your Holiness.
I care if I'm right with God. Do you? Do you? Do you
I
care
feel
if I'm
good.
right with God?
I feel good in front of God. So let me be very clear with you. You keep going back to Sandy Hook like it discredits me. Everybody knows, this audience knows, I barely ever talked about it. Pure bull. It's all a big globalist thing to demonize me. You can keep repeating it like a parrot if you want. Let's talk about the reality. You just said that the Jewish people battle pornography. You're the guy on Howard Stern doing all this wild stuff. You're the guy in videos you release yourself. It looks like your grandson or some kid that you're table dancing on, grinding on him. You're grabbing, I think it's your granddaughter's or a little girl's breast. You're talking about my penis on air and just now that my penis is small.
He's a deeply
and all the
holy
rest
man.
of this stuff. And you're sitting there, are a famous guy for being, let's just say, wild. I wasn't going to raise the fact that you got kosher dildos and butt plugs. I would ask you, are you wearing one now? And then you tell me, you have a butt plug right now?
What the fuck is a kosher butt plug?
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Butt Plug.
How may I answer? Okay.
Do you have a model called the Holiness?
Well, are you going to interrupt me or can I answer?
No, go ahead. You've got fair time. No one will say I took over time. Go ahead.
Okay, but don't interrupt me. You spend your time fighting gay men and gay marriage and saying that they destroy the covenant of marriage. Last time I checked, this is not to be personal. You are divorced and remarried. I applaud you for being remarried. Do you know why people get divorced? You know why people get divorced, Alex. It's the loss of desire. It's the loss of sexual connection. I wrote an international best-selling book called Kosher Sex. I could not be more proud of it. I hope all of your viewers will buy it. It's about husbands finding erotic desire in their wives so they don't have to go to porn and all this filth. And some couples, if they need the novelty items, I don't care what they are, if in order to keep the spark alive, so that monogamy does not become monotony. See, that's one of the reasons that my Christian brothers and sisters, evangelicals, real God-fearing Christians, not like you who hates Jews, bought the book in their millions and tens of millions because they understood that sex in marriage for religious people is not just for procreation, and for secular people, not just for recreation. That sex is holy. Are you aware of the fact, Alex Jones, that there isn't a single word in the Bible for sex other than knowledge, and Adam came to know his wife Eve? You're bringing up butt plugs and all this other disgusting stuff. I didn't discuss your pee-pee. I said that you disgraced whatever you think about Michelle Obama. Who are you to say that she's a man? Stop the misogyny. Why do you hate women so damn much? And then you defend Candace Owens, who's going after the first lady of France, saying that she has male genitalia. You guys have a sick obsession with people's genitals. And you tell me dancing with my... wait, no, you said you wouldn't interrupt me. You said you would not interrupt me. Then you make fun of the fact that on Purim, I'm dancing with my grandson and holding my granddaughter, and your pedophile perverted brain goes to holding my granddaughter as a form. Come on, How much hatred do you have of Jews that you have to go that low? You know, the sad thing about you is
Any
that you're not a
criticism of
stupid man.
me is
You're actually very
anti-Semitic.
smart. But but you're so
Any
defensive, you're
criticism
so
of the
insecure
rabbi,
that in order to protect
anti-Semite.
yourself, you already hit below the belt. So let me repeat. I am proud of any novelty items that we sell that some married couples need in order not to get divorced, in order not to turn to porn.
Okay, you just
Now,
got more time. You just got more time. You just went 3 minutes.
I'm almost done.
I'm getting 4 minutes.
I wish you didn't get divorced.
I mean, I
And
do
maybe
actually
had
agree
you
with like
read my book,
married
instead
couples
of
spicing it up a little bit,
degrading
but that
sex
doesn't mean
and
he has
saying
to
that
be a
sex
dick
is only
about it.
filthy, me and Pamela Anderson wrote a book against pornography called Lust for Love. That was an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal. If you did your research, you would know that, Alex Jones.
Okay.
Your turn, my brother.
All right. Well, I get more. You just went about 4 minutes. I'm watching the clock. You've got more time than me. So you keep going like, now be quiet. Don't interrupt me. You've interrupted me more than I interrupted you. So don't do that and act like you're being interrupted, or I'm going to have to spend time pointing out that's being – listen, I do believe you sell butt plugs. And you go, you're the one talking about disgusting butt plugs. You're the one that shot a video showing a witch's nose saying it's my penis and putting it out to millions of people.
True.
You're the one that sells butt plugs, and then I'm disgusting to ask about the butt plugs. Here, I'll give you more time. Tell me.
I couldn't care less what a husband and wife do together, whether they feel they need novelty items. I don't know why you're alighting on that. It's my daughter's company. I'm very proud of her. Any husband and wife who want to use novelty items, many don't want to. Any husband and wife that do what they need to keep the fire and passion alive in their marriages so that we avoid divorce, because I'm a child of divorce. Your children are children of divorce. Maybe you could have avoided that had you not had such a disgusting, rancid view of sex. Porn is gross. Adultery is gross. The Bible says, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. And you know what that means, Alex Jones? That you should be coveting your own wife. And that's what I teach people to do. I have saved thousands of marriages from the divorce courts, from children being involved in custody battles like your kids were.
We're going back and forth. You got 4 minutes.
Of marriages.
You got 4 minutes. I could have gone for 4 minutes. We're going back and forth now.
Disgusting obsession with butt plugs. God almighty, is that really what's on your mind, butt plugs?
You're the one on TV talking about my penis to 5 million people.
No. I said that when you degraded Michelle Obama by saying that she had a bulge, I said, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Stop degrading women. It's misogyny. It's what?
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, Michelle Obama's policy is fine, but you believe she's a man, honestly?
Well, Joan Rivers thought that, but we're about to go to break. Stay right there.
Do you believe she's a man? Do you believe that Michelle Obama's a man?
No, I just believe that she's got.
Why don't you apologize to her right here and now?
I believe she has bigger shoulders than an NFL linebacker.
But just apologize to her for your disgusting racism and misogyny.
Oh, I need to apologize and be sad. No, I think she is a man.
You have to apologize.
Wife is a pedophile. I think the president of France's wife is a pedophile on record when he was 14. It's on record. So you're for teachers.
Is she a man? Is she a man?
Are you
like,
for? Yes, I think she looks like a man. I'm going to ask you, 14-year-olds, is it okay for a teacher to have sex with 14-year-old students?
You know what? That is a very fair question. It's a completely different question saying that she is a man. I asked you something different. Candace Owens did not bring up whether she was having sex with a juvenile. Candace Owens said that she is a man. I'm asking you, and Candace Owens said, I will leave my show and give up my professional reputation if I'm proved wrong. I'm asking you, Alex Jones, is Brigitte Macron a man?
I think she's not just a man. He's a pedophile and he's ugly. He's got a big old Adam's apple. And I believe the president of France's wife is a disgusting pedophile. It's been sold out for 6 months.
Holy shit. I didn't think it was possible for Alex Jones to top the Kanye episode. Like, I feel like everyone knew where they were when they realized that Kanye West and Nick Fuentes had gone on Alex Jones's show to talk about Hitler. And it was like the world stopped for as long as they were on and you just couldn't take your eyes off it. And I don't know if we're going to reach that level of like perfection, but this really might come close. This is already way better than what I thought. What do you guys think? What are some of your thoughts in the chat? This is crazy. This is going to be good. Yup. Alex Jones just called the wife of the president of France a man and a pedophile. They're already talking about butt plugs. Rabbi Shmuley is doing more damage to the Jewish image than the IDF. I mean, it really is impressive. Like, why do like, and I'm seriously asking this question. Why do all of like the rabbis that are like on the internet, like, why are they all crazy? Like, is this just the rabbis who are like on the internet? Like, I'm not really interacting with a rabbi. I have no idea, but like, are they all like this, or is this just like the internet rabbis? Yep, the rabbi is seething. Mm-hmm. Oh God, I do still have Jennifer's rum downstairs. Yep, getting wild. Good to see you, Boom. Getting wild. Yeah, this is gonna be a good day. Let's see. Unreal. Hey, good to see you, Mama Tembo. Broke. It's like the band's getting back together. Like, all my old people are coming back for the early stream. It's good to see everyone. Where the hell have you guys been, huh? There's been a lot of developments. I think that's a good question, Sin. Why? Is this guy the word of God? You think that Nick Fuentes is controlling Rabbi Shmuley? I think that might be a bit of a stretch. I don't see that. We would be drunk in about 30 seconds, and I don't think that would be good for anyone. They do actually have Jesus, but I've seen them. They do exist. Just don't Google that or anything. You'll get lots of don't Google that. The rabbi does have lizard eyes. It's true. I'm sure that's just a coincidence. Most rabbis on YouTube I've come across focus on religious and spiritual stuff. They rarely talk about the war in Gaza and anti-Semitism. Well, those might be the more sensible rabbis. God, I can't stand this guy. Oh, I can't stand him. This guy right here, when he was like coming up, he used to follow me on Twitter to try to get stuff from me. And then when I wouldn't do it, he would unfollow me. And then a couple months later, he'd follow me back, and then he'd unfollow me again. And then he'd follow me back, and then he'd unfollow me again. And then every time I went viral for something, he was like, "It's so weird how we're always following and unfollowing each other." And I was like, "No, bro, that's you. That's you. I'm not the one who weirdly unfollows people for no good reason. Like, you're the one that keeps unfollowing me and following me back, and now you're shilling supplements on Alex Jones." Anyway.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order, it's Alex Jones. Rallying patriots worldwide in defense of human liberty. It's Alex Jones.
Well, Rabbi Shmuley's our guest. He's at Rabbi Shmuley on X. He's very popular. He is a best-selling author. I remember seeing him 15, 20 years ago on Howard Stern. And you kind of see two different Shmuleys. You see the serious one we're kind of getting today, and you see the one running around, clowning around. And I get that because I clown around some too. But I didn't want to just come on here and be cast as the anti-Jew.
No, I will
and then
not
he's the defender of Israel. It'd make me even more popular because anti-Semitism and obsessing on Jews is super popular. I see a lot of disinformation against Jews out there. I try to stay out of this. And then I have Kanye West in here and disagree with him. And by the way, had no idea he was even going to do that. And then it turns into a giant cluster. I'm tired of it. And so I saw a tweet you put out or an X post a few days ago where a guy was attacking you. And you said, "Oh, you're just obsessed with the Jews. You think about us all day."
Why is it?
That's really true. The people
out
that
of
think
sync.
Jews are like
Why is the audio out of
and
sync?
totally control everything.
Hang on, I'm gonna refresh real quick. Sorry, like this is gonna annoy me if I don't just refresh.
Jewish. They claim I work for Israel. I mean,
That's still out of sync.
I've been literally
Okay. It's
assaulted
on there and
by
not
these
ours.
people, both economically and personally. So I'm in this paradox where I have the ADL saying I'm evil and coming after me and take my speech away. And then I've got the white supremacists after me. And then I'm friends with Candace Owens. And I think she has a right to say what she's saying. And you're saying all these things about her. And it just seems like people are trying to force me to take a side. And it's paradoxical and it's very frustrating.
I can't believe that you're telling me, an intelligent, educated man, even though I utterly reject some of your more despicable conspiracy theories, especially about Sandy Hook.
Oh my God, you go
that
back
little
to
boy, that little boy, you know, opposed her. But I'm amazed that an intelligent, highly experienced media black belt like yourself needs to be said that people are pushing me. You don't have a moral compass. You don't know right and wrong. You don't know that when 3,000 Hamas terrorists, Nazis with GoPros, actually film what they did to Shani Luke, whose parents I brought to the United States, stripped her naked, shot her in the back of her head, and almost like with necrophilia, took her naked body and abused it. She is the single most defiled woman in world history, because that video was seen on
What?
Telegram by about 1 billion people. You need to be pushed as to whether or not that's wrong,
A
Alex Jones.
billion
You need to be
people were
pushed.
on
I
Telegram?
was in outside Gaza 7 days after the war.
Really?
I saw blood congealed to 3 or 4 inches. I saw the bodies reeking under those plastic covers. You need to be told that children beheaded
Where
is
are the
wrong.
images
There's
of
a
3 to
baby
4
who's a
inches of
hostage
congealed
right
blood?
now. He had his first birthday a month ago. Who the heck knows if he's alive or dead, if someone's giving him
Wow.
formula? You need to be told if that's right. In other words, you're saying, I am a morally lost man. I don't know
Bro.
anything. So let's go back for a second. You accused Israel of genocide. Mr. Alex Jones, may I ask you to define genocide, please?
Why don't you define it?
The definition of genocide is trying to wipe out a ethnic or religious or cultural group, and we have Netanyahu
Wait,
openly.
one second.
No,
let me
let him
talk.
answer.
See,
Shut the fuck up.
It's still my time. You're
No.
talking it to make sure that I don't overdo it.
No, let him.
You've had most of the time.
Shut him up, Alex.
Geno means
Cut
ethnicity.
his
Side
mic.
means mass murder.
God
It was coined by
damn it.
a great Holocaust survivor, Raphael Lemkin, a great international jurist. 1947, the United States is a signatory to the Anti-Genocide
What the
Convention.
fuck?
In 1
Cut
week,
his
there will be
mic.
the 30th anniversary of the genocide of the Tutsis in Rwanda. There's been the genocide in Armenia, et cetera, et cetera. I'm a student of genocide. I'm close to President Kagame of Rwanda. He's the only one who stopped the genocide, et cetera. Okay, now, how could you accuse Israel of genocide if it's about killing an ethnicity? Israel has 1.9 million Arab citizens who live as equal citizens. In fact, even more equal than the Jews, because they're not drafted to the army. They don't have to fight Hamas. Jewish soldiers fight to protect 2 million Muslims who are Israeli citizens.
Why aren't you
If
letting
Israel
me
was guilty of
answer the
genocide, the first
question?
people they would have killed would, of course, be the Israeli Arabs
Oh, for
who live in
fuck's
total
sake.
safety. Number two, we Jews seem to suck at genocide, Alex Jones, because if we tried genocide and we took over Gaza in 1967, there were 500,000 Arabs. Now there's 1.5 million. So the population has tripled while we're guilty of genocide. It's like saying the Nazis committed genocide and we went from having 18 million Jews in Europe to having 54 million today. No, we don't. We only have 15 million Jews left in the whole world because they killed 6 million Jews. That's genocide. You lied about the Jews. It's a blood libel. Then you said that the IDF actually acknowledged videos where Israeli soldiers had a smile on their face and shot Arab children.
Wow.
This is a blood libel. It's no different to what Candace
Okay,
Owens.
you have
Candace
dominated.
Owens,
Stop.
I'm almost done. Candace Owens lost her job on Friday, fired by Ben Shapiro because she liked a tweet that said, this rabbi drinks frickin' Christian blood, which is disgusting and vile, and you are repeating the same lies. Now, be a
Because
man,
she
take
liked
responsibility,
a tweet.
and say you're sorry.
All right.
She
Now,
liked a tweet.
I've been writing down the time here. You are about, in the last 30 minutes, you are about 6 minutes ahead of me on time. So now you stay there and don't interrupt.
But that's in Jewish time. In Jewish time, it's only 2 minutes, by the way. You got to go by Jewish time.
I know. Okay, just listen. I'm trying to have a serious discussion with you, okay?
Okay.
So just let me talk, okay? When I say that I don't want to be the Muslims' enemy or the Jews' enemy, that's not me having a moral problem and I'm this wimp who can't make a decision. I'm saying I'm not obsessed with Israel, even though I love history and have studied it some. It's very interesting. And I'm not against the Muslims. And I'm trying to sit here and say, I didn't like October 7th. I said it was wrong at the time. And I said they should kill the leaders of Hamas. But I said, if Israel goes into this trap and carpet bombs all of it, they will get most of Hamas, but it'll make them stronger in the end, which Trump has now said, and many other people that are smart have said, and that is incredibly destructive and wrong. And then I see the countless videos of just wholesale shooting and bombing and blowing up groups of people, and you can't don't interrupt. You can't tell me that this is strategic or this is precision. And you say, well, we don't care. We've always been attacked. We don't care how this looks. I've never seen the whole world, I'd say 80% of people who've even been pro-Israel turn against Israel. And I'm simply saying, I know Israel's a tiny country. I want it to be able to operate and live in peace. But this is destroying
drone attacked
not just
people while they were
the
getting
Palestinians, but I think we'll end up destroying Israel in the end.
Not
and then they're
cool,
going to
yo.
bring to Europe and the United States, who survives all these pissed off Muslims. That is wrong. And then I'm sitting back looking at all of this and simply trying to stop this clash of civilizations that's happening. Like, I'm not pro-Russia, I'm not pro-Ukraine, but I'm against the whole war, and I'm trying to stop it. It's not a moral issue that I've not taken aside. I'm not Ukrainian, I'm not Russian. This is World War III. All the analysts admit it's escalating into full nuclear war. I like living, and I want this to stop. And so there is definitely, in my view, a chutzpah with the Christian Zionists and with some of the radical right-wing folks in Israel that simply think that people can say and do whatever they want. And it's well documented that Rachel Corrie gets run over by the bulldozer and people make jokes about it, or that there's videos. I mean, this latest film got leaked out of the Israeli Defense Ministry of the drone missiles raining down on kids walking up, the middle of a dirt road, trying to go back to their house, and they're being killed. And to say to Israel, you shouldn't herd them all up to the sea and then start bombing them in Rafah. A, those are children. B, that looks bad. And you asked me the genocide question,
Well,
and you immediately interrupted because I had the
It doesn't
definition.
just look bad,
And
it
yes,
is
the
bad.
Genocide Convention is 1947-48, directly off of a response to Hitler's final solution that was on record, that they were going to try to exterminate all the Jews. That is a fact. That happened. And so I see the Nazis denying Hitler ever did that. And then I see what's happening in Israel and what's happening in Gaza, and this bombing campaign herding everybody into this area and doing this. And the world sees it as shooting fish in a barrel and sees it like Skynet, with this one of the most powerful militaries in the world for its size, one of the most high-tech, probably the most high-tech. Nobody denies that there's incredible technology and developments everywhere in Israel. No one denies Jews aren't smart. And we're watching this, and it feels like we're watching Goliath sit there and basically rape David. It doesn't look good. And I'm going to play you a video that you can respond. Hold on. I only want 3 minutes. I get 1 more minute. Here's a video yesterday of a girl with her leg blown off in Rafah, a 7-year-old girl. And I'm telling you, I've heard Benjamin Netanyahu, we can play the clip, about Amalek invoking the Old Testament when groups were slaughtering each other. And actually, that was the time, because they would do that too, saying you kill the women, the children, their animals, their men, they're all cursed, they're all evil, kill them all. He invokes that, and that's how they're bringing the war crimes charges and genocide crimes, because he says it is an extermination. And I see the Israeli pundits everywhere, I could play hours of it here, saying we're going to wipe them all out because those kids are going to grow up to kill us. And it's like, you kill them, more Muslims come. They're having 5-6 kids apiece. So I can see where this leads. So here's a clip of what was the clip I was going to play? I forget. Oh yeah, this is the girl with her leg blown off. And then I also want to play one more clip, and I'll give you like 5 minutes. A clip of Joan Rivers talking about Michelle Obama. So play them both back to back. Go to Joan Rivers. I wanted Joan Rivers, guys. Will you get me the Joan Rivers clip? I've asked, I'm not Matt the Crib, I've asked 5 times. Joan Rivers clip. I want that, because Joan Rivers said that Michelle Obama is a man, but that's a separate issue. We'll get to it in a minute. Okay, I just went for 5 minutes. I got my time back. Go ahead.
Yeah, but remember, 5 Jewish minutes is 20 minutes. I get 20 minutes now, Alice, correct?
No.
Is that because
can you laugh occasionally? Okay, anyway, here we go, because this is a serious issue. You brought up a lot of things. Number one, Alex Jones. Let me be direct, unequivocal, and clear. Your disgusting comparison of what Israel's doing in Gaza to the Nazi Germany Holocaust is the very essence of anti-Semitism and the ultimate blood libel. Now, let me be clear, because you said that you like history.
You don't get to
There were two great American military inventions in the Second World War. The greatest was Oppenheimer and the atomic bomb. It just won the Academy Award. The second was the Norden bomb sight. The Norden bomb sight allowed the United States, they claimed, from 30,000 feet in these B-17s, super fortresses, to drop a bomb even in a pickle barrel from 30,000 feet. The Americans bombed only during the day. It was called precision daytime bombing. And Churchill said, are you guys crazy? Letting your pilots die? America lost 3 times as many pilots per capita. He said, bomb at night, indiscriminately. That's what the British did. They hit no targets, but they terrorized the German population. There's a phenomenal Apple TV series right now called Masters of the Air that really captures it, but an even better best-selling book by Malcolm Gladwell called The Bomber Mafia. The United States used precision bombing. That's exactly what Israel does, because Israel is like the United States. We are a moral nation, which is why so many hundreds of soldiers. Remember, every time Israel loses 1 soldier, that's the United States losing 35 soldiers. When Israel,
no, it's actually not, bro.
On October 7th, Israel lost the equivalent of 60,000 Americans.
1 Israeli life is not worth 35 U.S.
Look at what we did after 9/11, which you kind of blame on Mossad and the Jews, which is also
don't
gross.
tell me you're not Jewish.
We went to war in Afghanistan for 20 years after that attack. So you're going to say we did it. I don't want to hear your conspiracy theories. And in Iraq for 15 years. For you to say that these innocent, beautiful Palestinian children who have their legs blown off because Hamas uses them as bulletproof vests, as human shields,
you made us
because Hamas builds their military headquarters under friggin' hospitals.
Why did you make us
builds their military headquarters under nurseries? Alex, you live in Austin, Texas, correct? When's the last time you saw an F-15 landing outside, or an Apache helicopter gunship, or a Black Hawk landing across the street on the baseball field in your neighborhood? Answer: never, because America doesn't put its military bases in middle of downtown Dallas. It puts them on the side because, unlike Hamas, who wants Palestinians to die, they want people like you, gullible Alex Jones, to take the bait. It's a win-win. If the Israelis kill Palestinians, it's a win for them, and Israel doesn't want to. Every one of those Palestinians is the equal child of God, as our Bible says, the Hebrew Bible, Genesis chapter 1. But if the Israelis kill Palestinians, it's a PR win. Here's Alex Jones attacking Rabbi Shmuley over it. And of course, if they kill Israelis, it's also a win. Hamas has a genocidal charter to murder every Jew on earth, including this one sitting in this studio in New York City. That is in their genocidal charter that has been adopted and ratified 3 times. Now, let's be clear about history again. The Ottoman Empire controlled Palestine, Gaza, Turkey, as you know, Syria, Lebanon. It broke up after the First World War, things like Lawrence of Arabia. Winston Churchill, as colonial secretary, takes the Balfour Declaration, which declares that the Jews can have a country, takes away 80% and gives it to Jordan as a reward for the Hashemites, who weren't even from Jordan. They were from Mecca for supporting the Allies in the first. 80%'s already gone. Of the tiny 20% left, the 1936 British Peel Commission, they come and say, you know what? We're going to take even more away from the Jews, split it with the Arabs. You know what the Jews said every time? Okay, as long as we get something. 1947, November, not right here, in front of Met Stadium, the Queen's Museum is where the UN was at the time. That's where Israel was voted as a state. They took away again half of it. And the United States voted for the Israeli state. Palestinians said, no, we're going to destroy Israel. 1948 war, we're going to destroy Israel. 1956, Israel wanted peace. Palestinians said, no, we don't want half, we're going to destroy Israel. 1967, Israel conquered Gaza, conquered Sinai, conquered Judea and Samaria. Israel said, we'll give it all back, we want peace. No, we're going to destroy Israel. 1973 war, we're going to destroy Israel. Then you have the Oslo Accords, 1993. Israel brings Yasser Arafat, the father of modern terrorism. No, we're going to destroy Israel. He launches the first intifada, second intifada. 1,000 Jews, 60,000 Americans equivalent, are blown to frickin' smithereens on buses Okay, then you have the second intifada. Then 2008, you have Ehud Barak
I
who's
would
prepared
just
to give them
believe him more if he
94% of the
expressed
West
the
Bank, Judea,
same
and Samaria. No, we're going to
outrage
destroy.
over
Cut
like
the
the
crap.
40,000 plus
Hamas wants to
Palestinians who have
annihilate the
died
Jewish
as he
people.
is over the
They have
Jews.
stolen every last penny of the $150 billion
Because
given
I'm
to them
sorry,
by the
a
international
Jewish
community.
life
That is
is
3
not
times
more
per
valuable than a
capita
Palestinian
of the
life.
Marshall Plan that rebuilt Britain, Belgium, France, Germany. And you know what Hamas did with that? They stole it. Ismail Haniyeh, you wish that your powders sold 1,000th of the $7 billion this man is worth as he lives in utter luxury in a penthouse in Qatar, flying in his private jet. Or Khalil Mashad worth $4 billion. Alex Jones, let me ask you a question. I also mourn the suffering of my Palestinian brothers and sisters as they are used as bulletproof shields, human shields by Hamas. But let me ask you a question. For the past 18 years, when Hamas stole all the food of those poor Palestinian kids in Gaza, when Israel had left, for the past 18 years, when they made themselves billionaires, when Yasser Arafat died on the Forbes 400 list, the ultimate kleptocrat, and his wife today lives in a penthouse in the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Paris, where were you, Alex Jones, then to care about the plight of the Palestinians? Answer, you were silent.
Okay.
And why? Because why? Because you don't give a damn about the Palestinians. You just care about condemning Jews, condemning Jews, and condemning Jews.
Don't be afraid of me talking. I'm giving you more time than I have. You've got more
time. Was that?
I'm watching.
How much time was that?
We got like 8 minutes left, and then we keep going a little bit. So you said you stay there. This is so. Let me talk now.
Okay.
I have never been a friend of corrupt Islamic governments and groups, and I am not a fan of expansionist or Orthodox Islam coming into the West, that we have all these major charities bringing in, and your little buddies over at the ADL. Let me finish. So that claim, I absolutely said kill the leaders of Hamas on October 7th. And I said they live in all these other countries around there, and they suck the money out. So the claim that I like Hamas is preposterous. Israel helped found Hamas in 1977, AP, Reuters, it's on record, to destabilize the region and make sure a legitimate government. I've seen Netanyahu in a Jewish home bragging about it 10 years ago. We've played the clip. So I'm not anti-Israel, that I don't like Israel helping found Hamas. I don't like the left allied with them. I see Ilhan Omar and AOC promoting him. That's what I'm saying. You got me wrong. That's why I say I'm not in either group. I'm an American sovereign citizen trying to have prosperity and freedom, and I don't want this weird, ancient, multi-thousand-year-old Abrahamic war to dominate my life. But then you go on. October 7th was terrible, and even the Israeli newspapers admit, and Netanyahu pointed the fingers at the military, they pointed at him. I don't know who did the stand down. But as you know, you got 2 sons in the IDF. You're over there all the time. Israel, you can drive across the whole country in an hour. They had attack helicopters 5 minutes away. They had all this stuff. There was a stand down. The most militarized country, other than like North Korea in the world, stood down for 7+ hours. And Netanyahu said, well, once the war is over, we'll then investigate. But now we're told the war is never going to end. But I don't just blame Israel. I see Biden giving $6 billion to Iran, to Hezbollah, which I said on October 7th on a live show on that Saturday, clearly is funding Hamas and is involved, which they now, Iran admits it, Israeli intelligence admits it, and Biden's defending it. So I'm not a fan of Iran. It's terrible. And I'm worried about all the Hezbollah fighters and sleeper cells in Europe and the UK and the United States. So I'm simply pulling back, looking at this. Why did Israel stand down? Why did Israel create Hamas? Because by having this outside enemy that attacks, it helps unify Israel. Look, it wasn't a thing when I came out against Netanyahu saying we're going to use all the Israelis as guinea pigs and we're going to test drugs and see if they work. I was against it in Singapore and Australia and Canada and the US and everywhere. I don't look at it like, oh, it's the Jews, so I'll have a different policy. I said, this is terrible. I can play the clip of Netanyahu saying, I'm using Jews as guinea pigs, will be the center of drug production in the world because we're going to have the people opt in to being guinea pigs. And that's not an anti-Semitic thing. I'm saying that's very immoral. That's out of control. I know the leftists want to get rid of Netanyahu. I don't know if Netanyahu got set up. There was a stand down below him or whether he ordered a stand down. There was a stand down. So those are the real world things I think about. Take 9/11. I know, because I watched it on TV. They said we're going to blow up Building 7, 47-story building with the FBI and CIA in it. I know that there were Israeli agents shadowing the so-called hijackers. I don't know exactly what happened with 9/11, and I've looked at all the angles. I don't think Israel shot a missile into the Pentagon. There was no plane wreckage. A missile was fired. So when I talk about Mossad, we all know Mossad, MI6, CIA, Interpol is the same thing. At the top, those agencies all work together incestuously. So I don't see that as Israel or America or the UK. I see it as the intelligence agencies. And Fox News did report they arrested these Israelis dancing up there on the building watching the towers collapse. I'm not saying they went and blew it up. My central theme has not been that Israel ran 9/11. I'm simply saying that all these governments get more power out of terror, more power out of crisis, more power out of insanity. Just like if we get hit by Hezbollah or Hamas, all these Islamics coming into the U.S., there'll be no discussion of who let them in. It'll all be just lose your rights. The border's wide open, but my balls, and like you talk about, my tiny pee-pee, will then be fondled at the airport. So to me, I have you call me a white supremacist. I'm a human supremacist against the AI, against the New World Order, against the globalists, against the fentanyl, against the glyphosate, against the GMO, against the 5G. I don't look at it as Jew, Christian, Muslim, Palestinian. I look at it as people. I don't look at Xi Jinping and then hate the Chinese people. So that's where I am. And people will say, oh, Jones hosted this Zionist. He's with the Zionist. Or Jones hosted Kanye. He's with Hitler when he was clearly having a mental breakdown. That is not. I'm really trying to have a large, very, very informative debate. We're going to break in a minute. Go ahead.
Come on, Alex. These are just the most pathetic excuses. You're not a humanitarian. Cut the crap that you're against globalism. You're against humanity itself.
Oh, for
You
fuck's sake.
defend the murder of Jews. You blame the Jews for their own murder. You say that they're going to get terrible PR. The one thing I do respect about you amidst your extremely checkered past and the disgrace you brought upon yourself by denying those 20 beautiful children and 6 educators who were murdered in Sandy Hook. The one thing I respected about you is that you went to court to fight to get custody of your children after a divorce. Let me ask you a question. What if someone had, God forbid, and I'm sorry to have to bring this up, come into your house in the middle of the night, forget about custody, and murdered your children and beheaded your children and burned your children alive? You're a pretty tough guy. What would you do?
I would seek out the people that did it. I wouldn't carpet bomb.
What would you do?
I would get mad.
What would you do? Nothing? Would you be afraid that your neighbors would condemn you by getting mad? Would you talk about your freaking popularity? Would you worry about your social standing? No, you would protect your family. Stop telling us Jews that we have no right to protect ourselves and our lives are worth.
You shouldn't purchase the products at InfoWarsStore.com.
See, that's what you should have done the last time. Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay, so here's the biggest thing that I take issue with, and if you guys want to put your thoughts in the chat about how you're taking this debate, let me know. I will be able to display them on the screen if you are chatting in on YouTube or Twitter. If you're on Rumble, welcome. I appreciate you guys on Rumble as well. I can see your chats too. Here is one of my biggest issues. Every time one of these people says, something like, one Jewish soldier is worth 35 American soldiers. No, that's not how this works. That's not how a Jewish life is not 35 times more valuable than an American life. And if you want to know why people call them Jewish supremacists, it's because of shit like that. Let's see, I got a super chat here. Bosevich says, Shmuley is the worst representative for his people. Yeah, this is not a good look, bro. This is not a good look. This is going to send more people into the loving, open arms of Nick Fuentes than even, people are like, why is Nick Fuentes getting more popular? This right here. Yeah, or like saying things like this, or saying that like October 7th was, you know, exponentially worse than 9/11. Nah, bro. That's not how this works. No, this is not the point. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about the proportion of military. I don't care. The proportion of military does not mean that a Jewish life is worth 35 times more than an American life. Let's see. Yeah, it's like they think they're the most victimized people that have ever been in the world. Like, other people have been victimized too, man. All right, they're back.
We definitely need to have him back for more discussions about all this.
Was that it?
But I wanted to get all the perspectives out here. But since I raised this, because I want this on record, how dare you say Michelle Obama, who has these giant linebacker shoulders and we have her coming out of Harvard, what looks like a rubber snake in her pants bouncing around. Shmuley's been really focusing on my stuff, saying I can't see anything down there, so you have this tiny pee-pee. But then Michelle's got this big anaconda in her pants. Here is Joan Rivers.
You made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I'm so excited.
Okay.
And I should do very well because I don't charge.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman
we already
president?
have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay.
I love Joan Rivers. Oh my God. What a queen. What a fucking babe.
All right, I just wanted to get that in there. So that's where I got that. You say I'm disgraceful for saying it. But that's a separate issue. What's your view on Trump telling Israel they need to stop what he believes is indiscriminate bombing? Because that's what it looks like to him.
First of all, let me just say, I can't believe that your source is Joan Rivers. You do know that she was a comedian. I thought I'd just remind you of that.
That's anti-Semitic, Rabbi. It's
jokes,
anti-Semitic for you to be
humor,
against Joan Rivers.
irony. Anyway.
Self-hating Jew.
I just don't believe in degrading women.
Obviously.
I'm not a big Barack Obama fan. He gave America the catastrophe, the abomination of the Iran nuclear agreement that empowered Iran with $150 billion, which ultimately filtered its way to the October 7th attack. There's no question about it. For those who are against Israel getting $3 billion a year, which is all spent here on military aid for Israel, it would take Israel 50 years to get what Obama gave Iran. I just don't believe in degrading his wife. I'm not a misogynist. And the stuff that Candace Owens said about the First Lady of France is disgusting, repulsive, and should be rejected by anyone of conscience.
Well, that's the first pedophile.
I can't believe that Candace Owens is such a woman hater. And I want to say something else.
But you won't respond to the First Lady of France being a pedophile.
You said you're not going to interrupt me.
Okay.
No, that's not what she brought up.
I've not done it as much as you.
Genitals. And I didn't talk about your pee-pee. I was saying the moment you start focusing on other people's bulge or lack thereof, then you make yourself fair game, Alex Jones. Now,
hey, I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
Now I want to say, let me go to a non-academic theory. This is pure speculation. I've always thought, and I'll get to your question about Trump, which is an important one. I've always thought, what's the reason for anti-Semitism? World's oldest hatred, wherever the Jews go, the Jews are communists, the Jews are fascists, the Jews are capitalists, whatever it is, we're blamed for it and we're slaughtered for it. And you have said so many lies about Israel, which you really should repent for, just because one day you're going to stand before God. But be that as it may, I've always thought to myself, could it be that it's sexual repression that makes so many people, these anti-Semites, hate Jews? Because so many people like you and Candace Owens are obsessed with Jewish sex. We're here, you brought up butt plugs, my book, Kosher Sex, which I could not be more proud of. Alex, maybe you're having terrible sex. Maybe you are just, I don't know. Maybe maybe you're really repressed. Maybe you just don't know what the hell you're doing. And maybe if you read my book and were less repressed, you would hate people less. Maybe you'd have more joy in your life. Maybe you'd have more celebration in your life. But I've seen so many, it's incredible, so many anti-Semites, they hate Jews having great sex. Now, we Jews have great sex. We believe in it. The Bible celebrates it.
I'm going to break. We got 1 minute break. We'll come back. I'm not going to tell you about my personal life.
You should read my book and get past your sexual repression.
Your Holiness, I can assure you.
I like that. I like your Holiness. Thank you.
Your Grace, I have an extremely empowered life. In fact, it's kind of, I'm not Will Chamberlain.
I don't know. Sounds like you're really jealous of mine, to be perfectly honest. And
I really have not been thinking about you.
I'm prepared to give you a bunch of our novelty products for your wife, by the way. Only in marriage. We're against adultery, God forbid, pornography. I'll give it to you as a gift, just so that maybe you'll be a bit less.
Shmuley, you got me where it hurts, man. I'm really repressed. I've never had any women. You're right. My sex life's terrible.
Sounds pretty jealous of Jews. You sound pretty darn jealous of Jews.
I'm not thinking about Jews sex. Give me a break. There
What
is
the
nothing
fuck just
more
happened?
frustrating to me.
I don't want to think about the rabbi having sex. And now that's like, I can't. Like, why? Oh my God. I can feel the levels of anti-Semitism in my chat rising. Hey guys, can you please do me a favor and mount the like button for me while you're here? There is a shocking disparity between in the spirit of Rabbi Shmuley, can you please mount the like button or peg the like button or do whatever you want to the like button? You can pretend you're using kosher sex toys with the like button. I don't really care. There's just a shocking disparity between the number of people watching right now and the number of people who have done anything to the like button. If you want to maintain a platonic relationship with the like button, you can high five it. You can put your arm around it. Just do something. I'm also right now thinking about Alex Jones having sex, which was also not a picture I wanted in my head. And I know I joke about sex a lot on this channel, but you know, you can, you know, if you want to get your Rabbi Shmuley on, I don't judge. We like what we like. I'm not involved in. Kate wants a highly sexual relationship with the like button. Yep. No peeking. No getting into other people's business. What the hell? All right.
Rabbi Shmuley.
Yeah, being sexually
Rabbi Shmuley on X. Got a few more minutes before Owen Benjamin takes over. So, Rabbi, you wanted to hit the Trump thing. Trump said, let's put the thing on screen. I forget the exact quote. Trump said Israel is really destroying itself PR-wise, which the rabbi says doesn't matter. Trump says Israel made a very big mistake with Gaza destruction.
No fornicating.
And so you say you don't care about what the world thinks, but you say Hamas is using these kids as human shields. I think it's true that they hide in their hospitals and you know do all that, and I've covered that. But it doesn't matter. These are innocent people being annihilated. Israel's plan, and I've been hearing it, is to drive them all out. Where are they going to go? Tell me what you think of Trump.
Question.
But first, if Israel can't take these folks out of Gaza because they're so salted with terrorists, well, then how are we supposed to take them here?
Whoever said that Israel wants to drive the Palestinians out of Gaza? Israel withdrew from Gaza. I used to visit the Jewish settlements, Gush Katif, in Gaza. My children were some of the last kids to plant trees 2005 in Gaza. Israel withdrew completely. Gaza was the first Palestinian state. Look what it became. It became Terroristan, just a terror launching pad to murder Jews. And they have launched thousands of rockets. All the money went to not schools and hospitals, universities, or even one darn bomb shelter for the Palestinians. It all went to building tunnels, and we're talking 5-star tunnels.
Wait, did he just say there wasn't one hospital?
The Hamas Hitler, Yahya.
How did they bomb all those hospitals
with like
there was no
LCD
hospitals?
television screens while these people die, and they are used as human shields. Israel never said they're going to move them. Israel just said it has to keep the security there because they tried 18 years ago to leave, and 200,000 rockets were being fired at them. You live in Austin, and if you lived in a bomb shelter most of the time, you'd go to the government and say, what the hell? Okay, that's the first point. The Palestinians are our brothers, but Hamas is not. When you said before that Netanyahu wants to destroy, he used Amalek, he meant Hamas. I have no issue with Israel killing every single Hamas fighter because they have erased the image of God from their countenance. They have erased their humanity, but not my Palestinian brothers and sisters. They're not guilty. Hamas is guilty. You once said that 25, 30,000 civilians were killed during the war. Alex, that's BS. That's a fraudulent lie. Most accurate numbers are there's been a 1-to-1, and even that's too high. Civilian to terrorist ratio.
When they blow up 20-story buildings, That's indiscriminate.
No. They give them ample warning over and over again to leave. They beg them, they tell them, and they risk their fighters by giving advance warning to Hamas.
So you wanted to talk about
Trump. Let's go to Trump. Trump is easily the best friend that Israel ever had in the Oval Office. Whatever anyone thinks, whatever else they think about Donald Trump moved the embassy to Jerusalem, which is Israel's and the Jewish people's eternal capital. He recognized Gaza. He defunded UNRWA. We now know that UNRWA, the stupid UN, which is a dyed-in-the-wool anti-Semitic body, Franklin Roosevelt, who created it, would turn over in his grave. He defunded UNRWA. We know that UNRWA actually paid UN employees, were terrorists, went in killing people. And now the United States, thank God, even the Biden administration has defunded them. Trump deserves phenomenal credit and gratitude from the American Jewish community for what he did for Israel. Trump is not saying that Israel should not fight this war. In fact, he said clearly Israel should fight it, and he would do the exact same thing. He said just make it quicker. The problem is that Israel comes under so much pressure from people like you, so it can't finish this war. Now, there are 28 brigades of Hamas. There are 2 left in Rafah. Would you have gone to Franklin Roosevelt, Winston Churchill, Alex Jones at the end of the war and said, leave them in Berlin? Leave them in Hamburg. Leave 30, 40 divisions of Panzer divisions. You never would have said that. You would have said, finish off Rommel, finish off von Rundstedt. You would have destroyed Himmler's SS.
Rommel was killed by Hitler a year and a half before the end of the war.
No, he wasn't killed. He was forced to take poison because they said that
they killed his family.
They didn't even say that he planned the von Stauffenberg.
Operation Valkyrie. You listen, I'm going to...
Right. Well, they
you got more time. Let me say something now.
Say something nice about the Jews. Can't you say something nice before you end? Is there anything nice? Do you like my suit? Do you like my tie, my beard? Is there anything nice you could say about Jews?
Good food.
If you actually followed what I do, I'm not an enemy of any of these
Shabbat dinner.
But I'm saying, just because Israel gets attacked, you say it's anti-Semitic, saying Israel knew when there's an October 7th stand down that Netanyahu said he would investigate. I've said, I don't know if Netanyahu did it or who did it. Why was there a stand down in Israel? Why did a Biden send
Because it was the biggest Jewish holiday of the whole. That's what happened on Yom Kippur. My sons are soldiers. I can tell you firsthand. My sons begged the IDF to go home. My son got married. He was engaged 3 weeks after the war started. The soldiers have families. They're conscripted for 3 years. My sons are combat soldiers. There was a stand down because it was a double attack. They attacked on the Sabbath, which we Jews take very holy, and secondly, on the holiest, happiest day of the calendar, Simchat Torah. They planned it for 3 years. Was it a screw up in Israel's military? Of course. Was it an intelligence failure? Of course. We Jews are not omnipotent. We're not omniscient. Mossad's good, but they also screw up. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you believe that when George Washington, I know that you believe that, 9/11 was a setup, and when George Washington was surprised by the British in Brooklyn and was pushed all the way into New Jersey, was George Washington a traitor? Did he do it on purpose? Tell me, Alex Jones, did he? When Lincoln lost Bull Run, was that a setup?
You're asking a question. You're asking a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Did Washington and Lincoln know about these impending defeats?
Because you don't want me to answer.
I do.
Israel is a tiny country and has a huge security fence, and for 7 hours plus stood down. That should be investigated. I don't know the answers to that.
Of course it should be investigated.
Okay, well, Netanyahu says he'll do it after. My point is that Hezbollah was funding it, but Hamas knew right where to go where the Shin Bet secret facilities were and knew right where to go. They had been given intel, and this whole thing looks like some excuse to get Israel attacked, to keep Netanyahu in power, and then launch this new giant war. Won't be the first time that's happened. And I'm not blaming Israel in general.
Yeah, but you always have some conspiracy. So I'm asking you a question. George Washington knew that General Howe was going to land his Marines, the Redcoats, somewhere in New York, and then he gets pushed. 2 years he loses the war. He only starts to rebuild it on 1775 Christmas night. Was George Washington a traitor? Did he know that the British were coming? He had all this.
George Washington didn't have 3 layers of security fences and an armed camp with Apache helicopters.
He knew they were going to land, and he knew the terrain.
He didn't have satellites. He didn't have the spy systems.
How about Lincoln? How about Lincoln, who loses the Battle of Bull Run 1 hour from Washington, D.C.? Was that intentional as well?
No, he didn't have satellites. I'm saying it wasn't a 7-hour.
In other words,
at least Lincoln knew Bull Run was happening. At least George Washington knew there was a war. Come on, man.
When it's people you respect, like Washington, Lincoln, they're never traitors. When it's people you hate, Israel, the Jews, they're always involved in some conspiracy. The Jews are responsible for 9/11. In order to create,
hey, Rabbi, you're not listening. You're not listening. You're not listening. This is modern. Modern. Let me finish.
He flat out said he didn't think the Jews did 9/11.
The USS Liberty. The Israelis have testified in court, and I've interviewed the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Admiral Moore, before he died.
Yes, U.S. Liberty.
Head admiral at the time, when the Israel tried to sink that intelligence ship because it knew what was going on in Egypt. What do you say about the USS Liberty?
A Jewish admiral? Do you know that it was a Jewish admiral, Hyman Rickover, who built our entire nuclear deterrent? How dare you attack a Jewish admiral? You are. By the way, I've been to his grave at Arlington. You know that a Jewish admiral with the name Hyman, doesn't get more Jewish than that, built the entire nuclear navy. Is that correct, Alex Jones?
Well, wait a minute. Yep. I just asked you about the USS Liberty.
No.
And the stand down.
Don't let him deflect, Alex. Don't let him do it.
Dual loyalty.
Nail his ass.
Did Hyman Rickover, a Jew, build the entire nuclear navy?
Hey, Rabbi, you must have missed what I said. I said I've interviewed Admiral Moore.
I'm first asking you a yes or no question. Did a Jewish admiral named Hyman Rickover build the entire American submarine nuclear deterrent? Yes or no?
You're not even answering my question. Answer my question. Did the USS Liberty get attacked?
The Liberty was attacked in a terrible mistake. How could Israel have benefited from wanting to attack its greatest ally? And unfortunately, there is a lot of friendly fire in war. We all know that friendly fire is even right now in Gaza, Israel estimates that its own soldiers may have killed 10% of
friendly
its own
fire
soldiers.
is real, but LBJ, it came out, LBJ, the U.S. government asked Israel to basically sink it. They were going to blame it on the Egyptians.
Okay, I answered your question. Now you have to answer mine. Did a Jewish admiral named Hyman Rickover, who is buried with great distinction in Arlington, build the entire American nuclear submarine deterrent? Yes or no?
I've never said there weren't Jews involved in America's defense.
No, I'm asking about Hyman Rickover, who's.
I would not give him credit for the entire nuclear program.
I know you've heard of him. Why won't you say yes? Why won't you give the Jews any credit whatsoever? What is your problem with Jews, Alex Jones?
Nope, you go back. I don't have a problem.
Because we have much better sex than you? What is it?
Listen, I don't like. Yeah, you're having better sex than me, sure, buddy. What I'm trying to say is that I have the ADL literally trying to shut me down, claiming.
But you called him Hitler. You called him Hitler. You called him Hitler.
Who Hitler?
You compared the ADL to Hitler. Did they try to gas you?
You compared Alex Jones to Hitler earlier in the show.
They want to take my bank accounts. They want to. Yeah, that's how Hitler started.
Oh my God.
I believe the closest thing in America.
You think the ADL is Hitler?
Yes.
Come on, that's Holocaust denial.
Yeah.
You think?
It's not. See, you play that game. No. Just because Hitler's bad doesn't mean the ADL's good. The ADL is absolutely out of control. I talked about Facebook earlier involving.
But are they Hitler? Out of control. I get. You can believe that. Are they Hitler?
The ADL to Hitler, Holocaust denial.
I think when it comes to censorship and control and putting people in digital ghettos, it's very Hitlerian what the ADL is doing. Hey, Rabbi, thank you for joining us.
No. Hitler killed. He started a world war that killed 100 million people. He gassed 6 million Jews.
Yeah, and my grandfather's fought him, so I don't take this identity that I'm Hitler.
I debate people. Listen, I want to give you credit. You said you'd give me equal time. You did. I'm giving you credit for that. Thank you. Can I give you one opportunity to say one nice thing about Israel and the Jewish people before we get off?
Good food.
But this is some moral.
That we're not genocide.
I will. Hold on.
Alex Jones is being radicalized right now.
I keep doing this.
Alex Jones is going to be like, Nick, what? That
We
was
can do this again next week. Let me just say this. I already said Israel has some of the greatest technology and great high tech and great developments.
I don't care about that. I care whether Israel's a moral country.
See,
Is it a moral country?
You said say one nice thing. See, you keep moving the goalpost. So let's expand on this.
We make nice computers. We make good semiconductors. That's what you're telling me?
I mean, so does America. So does China, so does Taiwan. I think Israel produces.
Do you love America? Do you love America?
You know, I love the idea of America, but in closing, because I got a guest host taking over.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say to you
fucking
is
awesome.
is that
Bagel?
everything is not either pro-Israel or anti-Israel.
Good invention.
I know in your mindset,
Way
you
to
got
go,
two sons in the
Jews.
military. Are they in Gaza right now?
I can't. I'm not allowed to say where they are, but they're brave soldiers, and I could not be more proud of them. They are giving value to Jewish life. They are protecting innocent Arabs who are Israeli citizens, Arabs. They are risking their lives for the Jewish people because Alex Jones, whatever you and people like you say, Jews are genocidal. We're tired of the lies. Jewish life has value. We will always stop the defamation. We Jews fight back,
Jewish
and not
life
when
has
we're
value.
on the damn
Not more value
train
than everyone else,
threshold with
though.
the SS saying, get on, and that's your only choice. We're going to fight you guys far away from the damn train. We are going to fight you when you start your lies. The ADL is Hitler, and the Jews are genocidal, and Israel started 9/11.
The ADL is an anti-American.
The ADL, I'm tweeting that right now. The ADL is literally Hitler.
And it's censoring the American people.
Crap.
The ADL is an anti-American.
Say whatever you want about that, but don't deny the Holocaust by saying that the ADL
is helping steal the next election.
The ADL never put you, Alex Jones, into a freaking concentration camp. I tried to gas your children, God forbid, okay?
The left wants to arrest conservatives. They want to put Trump in prison. All right, Rabbi, thank you so much. I don't want to keep our guest host too long. I appreciate it.
Can I promote my 2 books? You promoted a lot of your powders, man.
I love butt plugs for pedophiles.
No, I told you I'm giving those to you for free because you seem to really need it. So that's a gift. You don't have to plug that. It's coming. Just
will you
your
help
address.
me fit my butt plug?
However, you know,
are you a rabbi butt plug?
No.
Whatever floats your boat, Alex Jones. It seems that you're jealous of my sex life very deeply, and I don't want you to be jealous. I want to, it seems that your skills in that area may be a little.
You're right.
I never want to hear the words.
I'm not as good as doing lap dances with my grandchildren.
I want to promote Kosher Jesus, my book Kosher Jesus, which will finally give you the real truth based on the New Testament. And I want to promote the Israel warrior that fights people like you that lie about Israel. And finally, Kosher hate, the hatred of evil. Alex Jones, I'm sorry that you don't really have a bit of an inner moral compass. I'm sorry that you feel you have to be pushed to condemn October 7th. And until next time, God bless you. Take care. I hope that you will find the real Jesus, the Jewish Jesus, and I hope that you will be one with God. And finally, I hope you will one day repent of Sandy Hook. You really should.
All right, great. I didn't say like Madeline Albright, we killed 500,000 Iraqi kids, good price to pay. I've done nothing. The whole Sandy Hook thing is a made up corporate projection where I'm against kids. It's all crap. People see through it. And I appreciate you joining us today. Very, very interesting. There goes the rabbi. All right. Talk show host, top comedian, Owen Benjamin. I apologize.
Wow.
Owen Benjamin on X. That took 20 minutes of his time. He takes over now. We'll skip both the network breaks. We got one local break coming up in a few minutes.
Are we going to get a
Owen
recap?
Benjamin.
All right. Thanks for having me. Everyone make some, give a round of applause to Alex Jones. That was some of the best entertainment I've ever seen. No need to apologize.
That was
bud,
something.
For the
No,
20-minute
it didn't
delay.
rise to the
I
level
got
of
to sit here
Kanye,
and watch
but that was something, bro.
And that was hilarious. I have a theory that most canceled people, regardless of their politics or religion or anything, it's because they're really funny. And I would just like to point out, I'm not brown-nosing or anything. Me and Alex have made fun of each other in the past. I'm not that kind of person. Alex Jones is hilarious. Mr. Buttplug just made me laugh out loud alone in a barn. So well done, my friend. That was great. And I'm honored to be here. I can't believe I get to follow Rabbi Shmuley, the highly religious dildo salesman. I've never had that as a comedian. I want him to open for me on the road. That was amazing. I just witnessed. Listen, there's a lot, he's obviously gross, but there's something hilarious about Shmuley. Man, I have a weak spot for people that try to make the most absurd arguments. He just made an argument. That he had the moral high ground as a butt plug lubricant salesman.
True, he did.
That was
yeah,
high level chutzpah right there. Can you imagine? All right, he just made a claim with Alex Jones that if only Alex Jones had used his butt plugs and lubrication that he sells with his daughter, his marriage would have been saved. And I couldn't stop laughing thinking about that conversation where Alex goes to his wife. He's like, "Listen, I know we're having a lot of problems and we're having a lot of disagreements, but I'm ready to actually attack the real problem. I've been talking to this religious rabbi who sells, his daughter sells lubrication and butt plugs. And, it's time to really, we attack the deep state, in our relationship, which is nothing deeper than our butts. So I'm going to strap this thing on, and I don't want any judgment. It's kosher. It's made with the blessings of the covenant, God-chosen people. They come in rainbow, there's pink, there's black. I'm going to use the Darth Vader one because, it's a little more masculine, it's more patriotic. Little red, white. I mean, that's so preposterous. And, Alex did a great job with that. So I have a lot to talk about today, but I can't. I mean, after watching that, I have to review Shmuley a little bit. He said that we're obsessed with Jewish sex. So he's saying that we're the ones obsessed with their sex life when he literally sells dildos and writes books about how more people should sell dildos. And then he said that, that they have the best sex lives, but yet they sell lube. Let me tell you a little something about us, simple rural goy. I didn't even know the purpose of lube. Someone had to explain it to me because in my experience, the woman is usually attracted to the man. They haven't litigated themselves into a bedroom and used leverage and shame and, some form of like a court order. At that point, you're going to need some
lube has never hurt anyone. All right.
I mean, that to me is really funny. So he made the claim that he has the moral high ground because of the butt plugs and it saves the marriages. And then he condemned Alex's marriage because he wasn't using lube that he sells with his daughter. I don't know. I just loved it. And he also, Rabbi Shmuley, you said, quote unquote, you make yourself fair game when you bring something up. And then you said Joan Rivers was a comedian. She was joking. Well, Shmuley, I'm also a comedian. And you opened the door for the Grabber mask. I don't know if you guys saw Rabbi Shmuley's video about Candace Owens, where he put on a giant Grabber mask and wrote Candace on his shirt. Well, I also have a Grabber mask. And, people have called this anti-Semitic. I didn't make it. I didn't even ask for it. Someone sent it to me in the mail. And I think this is a better Grabber mask than the one that he wore. I had no idea that he was referencing Alex's penis with the big nose thing. I thought Shmuley
You're all anti-Semitic now. You're all anti-Semitic. Oy vey. What just happened?
On speed dial because what I'm witnessing right there is pure Jewish hate. They can't help their noses. As the old joke goes, the air is free. That's why Jews have big noses. And you don't want to hurt their feelings. It's not their fault they have big noses. You don't have to mock their noses, Shmuley. How funny is it that my Grabber mask has a smaller nose? I'm being more sensitive and understanding. So anyway, I guess my first segment is just a quick review on Shmuley because that was a treat. And part of me finds him hilarious. Like, I don't even hate the guy. His arguments are so preposterous that I can't help but laugh. I mean, that guy is I don't know. And I just, Alex Jones is raising the bar on culturally relevant comedy. So thanks for having me. And I have some sketches for you today. I've been trying to rival Saturday Night Live with At a Reasonable Time. So I'll have that for you later in the hour that I'm doing here. You can call in. I love callers. We're also going to talk about how I got kicked off my payment processor in France.
All right. That seems to be it. Okay. I Well, if you weren't anti-Semitic at the start of this stream, you sure were anti-Semitic by the end of the stream. And I'm working out in my head right now how to explain to my husband when I go downstairs to get some more coffee. He's going to be like, Carlin, why were you saying butt plug over and over and over and over? And like, are you buying butt plugs? Are you like, what the fuck is going on with butt plug? And I'm having to come up with an answer about, you don't understand, Victor. I just spent an hour and a half watching a famous Jewish rabbi talk about the virtues of butt plugs. Oh shit. Anyway, Guys, I hope you enjoyed that little intermission today. I will be back at 5 p.m. when we are going to talk about Steven Crowder and the lawsuit with Not Gay Jared. We are doing, it is a nitwits type of day. Please mount the like button on your way out the door. There is still a shocking disparity on YouTube between the number of people who are watching and the number of people who have mounted the like button for me. So please hit the like button on the way out the door. Please double check. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel on YouTube, Rumble, X, wherever you're watching this. Again, I will be back in about an hour and a half, and we're going to go through the drama around Steven Crowder and lawsuits and extortion and all sorts of good stuff. It is What the Fuck Wednesday. Welcome to What the Fuck Wednesday. All right, guys. Take care. We'll see you in a little bit.